Ella Malaguez, and welcome to episode 30. We've already been given batsus.
Yeah.
And we have the one and only Tonia Buxton with us.
Boys, I'm so happy to be here.
I'm very happy for you to be here.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
That
So we're going to dive
one.
straight into politics. We're going to talk about the global economy.
Oh God, you don't want me to
And
go
immigration.
there. No.
Any of that stuff. Let's not fake it.
The first thing we're going to do, you're going to start talking because the first thing we do, we saw you comment something and we're going to sort something out now.
Okay.
And then we're going to let it sit for a bit and we're going to do it after because you said you know how to do something.
Oh, I'm very scared about this part, yeah?
Oh, and that's the
No, see, no, wait.
Okay.
Listen, he was like, lads, I'm going to get guzzy. And I was like, what?
I love that.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's called tassiography.
No, I'm so scared of this stuff. You know that, honestly.
It's tassiography, and that's what it means to be able to read the cup. And you have to have a hell of a lot of imagination and... because, you know, in London, when I'm in London, I get hired to do things for the Greeks and Cypriot kind of community, especially. Journalists love having their cup read. So we'd go for dinner, I'd take them to a new restaurant, I'd introduce something to them, and they'd want their coffee cup read. So, you know, what's really funny is that there'd be times when I would be so inspired, and I'd have some journalist ring me back a year later go, by the way, when you said this and this, it happened. And I'm like...
Yeah, you're just like, wait a minute.
Other times... It's not so good. I look at it and go, oh, your life is empty.
Yeah. You've got nothing there. That's what Peters is going to say.
Okay, I'm going to read your cup, Peter. I'm going to tell it all.
Can you only read...
Pete?
No, I'll have one. Can you read his cup, though? Because I'm generally scared of this stuff.
Oh, God, I just don't know why I've just thought this terrible story that I don't want to say on here.
Why?
Now you've got to say it.
Take your mic away, because that's going to be mentally loud.
Okay, so when we talk about Fridia, I remember watching television with my mum when we were younger, and it was my mum, my brother Christo, and I. And I don't know why, some actor came on, and I don't know what happened, but Christo turned round and said, my mate Con plucks his achithya.
What?
And my mum was crying with laughter, and he was going, what? He plucks his achithya. And my mum was like, no.
You've got this mixed up.
You've got this mixed up, young man. Don't go. I don't know.
Wow.
That came from Fridia. I thought of chithya. It's terrible.
No, don't try it. Don't try it, please.
I only have to put that one in.
You little blondie, son. So,
right.
It's a pleasure having you here finally.
Thank you for inviting me.
Welcome back to Cyprus, because I know you guys are doing a flying visit this time.
I'm always flying in and out.
Yeah?
All the time, yeah.
Nice.
And hopefully more now. I was doing it literally once a month before in the sham that was lockdown. I was here like once a month for work, and I loved it because it's just great having an excuse to come home, you know, and do something and go back again. That all kind of died for a bit, and it's starting to start up again. So I'm really happy about that.
I did say it would take 5 years for it to go back to like normality.
Well,
do you know what I mean? Like
as normal as we can get.
Yeah, it is that one. So, what have you been up to?
So it's quite an interesting time at the moment for me because I kind of had stepped away from a lot of things. You know, I've got 4 children, and they've been. I've always worked, but I just gave up my consultancy at The Real Greek after 11 years because the company that hired me left. It got bought out by somebody else that didn't have the same ethos as I did. And I thought, you know, I've had such good innings here. I'm going to just leave. So it's freed up my time. And so my energy and everything has gone back into, I want to do another TV show.
Lovely.
I cannot believe it was 20 years ago.
I know we was talking before the cameras on.
20 years ago that I did the first series of My Greek Kitchen.
That's unbelievable, man.
Zephyr is 20 years old. When I was filming the initial series, he was 10 weeks old. I was filming...
You was putting the graft in...
when he was 10 weeks old. I mean, it just shows you when you really want something. So Andy Gwynny was saying, when you really want something, there are no obstacles. You just go for it and you work really hard for it. So
that's unbelievable.
And I just think, so the last series I did was 14 years ago, and I just think it's time to go back now. And ITV have offered me a sponsored show.
Oh, lovely.
So it's just a case of getting the sponsorship and getting it made, and it'll be revisiting the new Cyprus that's gone through the financial crisis and that's come out the other end, gone through all the things that the worlds have gone through at the moment, and showing in particular what the youth of Cyprus are doing, because, you know, they're doing some great stuff.
There's a serious boom going on right now as well over here.
How good is that for Maggie?
That's a really good go Maggie for it.
I know. I used to do aluminium, I told you.
He can carry 7 cups as well.
I hope you like Skepta.
Well, it is what it is, mate. We're going to be buzzing after this. I've already had a coffee today. This is like petrol.
This is like my 5th coffee.
I don't find Greek coffee strong.
So my yaya says, whenever I'm at her house and I can't sleep, she says to me, let me make you a Greek coffee. And I said, surely that is the last thing that you should have. But every time I'm there, if I have it like just before I go to bed, I sleep unbelievably. And I don't know why.
It's not like these kind of Freddo Espressos.
No, it's not like full caffeine. Like it's crazy.
So my Greek kitchen, the first one was 20 years ago. And then I did my Greek kitchen 2, which is again in Cyprus. And then the last one was my Cypriot kitchen, which was about 14 years ago.
Wow.
But you know what's really amazing is that those shows were on the Discovery Channel and they went to Discovery Asia. They went kind of on all the Discovery platforms. They were on in 35 countries.
Wow.
There are some countries that are still playing it now. And I'm like, oh my God, look how young I was. And, but it hasn't dated
Royalties?
really. Minuscule. But I get something. But that's the one thing that when we were talking about it today, because the reason Antigone and I are in Cyprus is we're here for the Cypriot Diaspora Forum, and it's been wonderful because all these Cypriots that are not natives like us, not Cypriot born or brought up, have come from all over the world, South Africa, Australia, and I remember when my first series came out 20 years ago, they were the fans. I mean, you've never come across fans like that before because they're so far away. When they suddenly saw a show about Cyprus, before I did my show, Cyprus might have been in a Mediterranean show, might have been. Normally they did Greece.
Like a pass-through.
Like a pass-through. Yeah. Or the only other show that was on Cyprus that was on Channel 4 at the time was the sex boat in Ayanaba or the love boat in Ayanaba. That was it.
That's your man's dad, isn't it?
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, right, there you go.
Well, I remember pictures about that, and it went in the sun.
Yes, exactly. And that was the only thing that non-Cypriots really knew about Cyprus. And suddenly I did this show. Did this show, and so I was very proud of that fact because my Greek kitchen, the first one was 13 episodes in Greece and just 2 in Cyprus. And so that went out. And then Sky came back to me and actually gave me a lot of money to do another series solely in Cyprus because the audience, the global audience, loved the fact that I had my family in the 2 Cypriot episodes. In the Greek ones, it was more of a food travelogue thing. But in the Cypriot ones, I had my parents or my dad. We went octopus fishing. And then we had my grandfather's bimosino, where all the family were there. And the audience were wild for it. And that's what they wanted to see. So that's how I
see home as well.
They wanted to see family and my beautiful daughters.
Yeah, Antigone's downstairs.
Like you said, like people from South Africa, Australia, it's like they hold on to that and they miss that and they want to hold that. Where I do want to say, like, because you said it showed twice in Cyprus.
2 shows
in Cyprus. Where what I don't understand about sometimes with Cyprus, where they don't push and they don't promote too much, when really they should promote and push more because it brings these people home.
Absolutely, it's crazy. But the Cypriots at the time, 20 years ago, οι Kypridis Kipru, as we were, the real Cypriots, they had xenomania, which is a great word. They were crazy.
Xeno? You make it proud.
They just wanted everything that was, continental or international. They're from Italia, my Italia. And you're like, what are you doing?
But when they see someone, let me know if I'm wrong, but when they see someone from abroad, that was doing Cypriot things, they'll be like, "Buxeri do that."
I got a lot of that, but you know what? Off a duck's back. If I had allowed the negativity that came to me to penetrate, then I would have done nothing.
No, 100%. But that 100%, because you've had that and I've had that.
Yeah.
Where I've had in school, like people saying, "Oh, you don't even speak Greek properly," bro. Later in life, I've done more for this country than half of you people ever do in your life. Do you know what I mean?
I'm sorry. I do want to go back a little bit though, back in time, because obviously I want to know what came growing up first, because I don't think a lot of people ask you about growing up and how growing up was for you, because obviously Antigone grew up and she wanted to be a singer and she had her family that supported her. How did you get into cooking, and what came first, cooking or bodybuilding? Because you also done bodybuilding, and I want to know, if you could just tell us how you grew up, where you grew up, and how it all started, because I'm really interested about that.
So I grew up with severely strict parents, and I use that. I don't use that word lightly. They were very, very strict, and it was hard growing up because I was creative, and I wanted to. I was an extrovert. I just loved people and going out.
Were they first generation? Were they
It's crazy being an extrovert when you've got strict parents. I'm going to go out.
Well, I did a lot of climbing outside of down drain pipes, outside windows.
Your daughter's downstairs.
The thing is, that's the thing. I brought up my children in a very different way to how I was brought up, because unfortunately, in order to live, I had to do a lot of lying, and that's not nice. And so one of the rules that we had that we've got in our family is tell the truth. I might not like it, but tell the truth. Don't lie. Once you lie, that's it. The trust is over.
I see the anger just come a little bit. Then
so how did the strict so how did it all happen though? Like, you had strict parents, and then...
But that's why I ended up cooking. So in a funny kind of way, the strictness. So my mum was, θα μαϊρέψεις, θα καθαρίσεις το σπίτι, and do all this. So I was a real little nicokira. Actually, my daughters are the same. They can clean a house top to bottom, they can cook for 30, no problem. That doesn't mean they can't go out, one or the other. So I had to kind of learn to cook when I was younger, because my mum would be out and they'd be doing stuff, and so I would come home and cook. So I didn't really love cooking when I first started cooking, because it was one of the chores I had to do. But as I got older and I realised, do you know what some Inglesi eat? They eat things like beans on toast, and they eat fried things, and they eat things that I wouldn't. And
they call it making dinner as well.
That's not going anywhere near my mouth.
Fish fingers.
Hey, fish fingers sometimes, bro.
In bread with some ketchup.
See, look at the English boy coming out. That's the worst nightmare.
My English friends used to say, look, if you get friendly with Tonia, she cooks real food.
Real food, like actual food.
So, hang on, boys, let's put a cut there. So what you need to do is turn your cup. So get your
finished yet.
I will ruin
when
it.
you've finished. Okay, so you're going to turn it over.
I just don't want to get the mud at the bottom.
All right,
1, 2, 3, and then we're just going to leave that.
The comments are going to... No, don't drink the end.
I'm trying not to.
No.
How much?
Let me see.
There's still a bit in there, no?
No, you're okay.
What, really?
You will have a bit more.
People watching are going to be like, Satanayas.
Oh, yeah.
We've had them comments already.
Yeah, you just have to not take it.
You get the kamagi, bro. All right, give that to Tonia to do that.
Yeah, Ella.
Oh, mate.
Okay.
For guys listening, we're getting our coffee cups ready.
Yeah, if you're watching this on thing.
1, 2, 3. Ella. We have to leave it for at least 3 minutes.
That's okay.
So just leave that be.
So cooking was a chore.
So initially it was a chore, but then I realised it gets you friends. So I used to do lots of cooking, and it's part of my energy. It's part of my bones. I can cook in my sleep. It's
like second nature.
Yeah, it's like second nature.
So can people that do beans on toast.
And so that's how cooking came about, really, more than anything else. It was from doing food. And then what happened was I wrote a holistic pregnancy book called Have a Baby and Look Better Than Ever. And I got invited to a channel called Channel Health, and I became the pregnancy expert there. And then I started doing fitness stuff there. And then I got asked as a nutritionist, because I was a qualified nutritionist, to go onto a TV show, which was called Beauty and the Feast. It's one of the worst shows ever made.
Beauty and the Feast.
It was the worst show ever made. I just can't even go into it. Don't ever look it up. No one go there.
We are so Googling that.
It was so bad. But that's when I realised I need to produce my own show. And so I wanted more, because I'm a classical historian, that's what my degree's in. So I wanted more of a classical history travelogue style show. But there was a real hunger for food shows at the time. So we put food into the show.
It's a joke. Hunger for food.
You've
done the same with Pilly.
I didn't do
him.
And so anyway, so that's how it came across. I ended up making this show. I wrote this show. I took it because I'd had a show on the Food Channel. No, was it Channel 5? I can't remember. Beauty and the Feast. I could get into production companies and have chats with them. I went to just under actually 200 production companies, and they all said no. But I was like, resilient or stupid, I don't know, you decide.
I mean, resilient and stupid have a very thin line.
Exactly. And eventually a production company in Birmingham came to my house, and they liked the idea, and we did a pilot, we did a little taster tape and whatever, and it evolved from there, and it got commissions, and it happened. So it was like something that was impossible. This is what I say to young people is, if it's real, if it's going to happen and you really feel it in your soul, persevere because it's going to happen.
We can see that you push that into Antigone as well. Like if it's got to push and it will happen if it's meant to happen. Like,
Listen, there was nothing I could do about that kid. She never shut up. She was singing from the. I mean, I remember speaking.
She come out like la la la.
It was horrible.
And then like, you go home one day, you're like, Mum, you got me headphones? No, they're for me.
She always sang. That was her DNA.
The production company in Birmingham went ahead with it.
Yeah.
And then this is
Series 1, my Greek kitchen.
Okay, but when did bodybuilding come into?
So bodybuilding was before that.
Yeah, let's go.
So that's almost
is that why you wanted to do cooking as well? Because you had to I'm hungry. You know, like
listen, your man is shredded.
Yeah,
shredded is like if you go good dictionary shredded, you see Paul.
Yeah, like literally. That's crazy.
And do you know he's 60 years old?
Yeah, that's wow. I'm 28. I look like this, bro. Like, this is mad, bro.
Crispy.
Yeah.
Crispy shredded
bacon bits.
So the bodybuilding actually came out of I was a classic child of the 80s who, everyone in the 80s was skinny. You could not, I mean, don't look at it now. Everyone's like, look at that booty, isn't that great? That was not great in the 80s. Yeah. There was a saying, does my bum look big in this? Because nobody wanted to have a bottom.
Now they're letting I hope my bum look big in this.
Exactly. So it was a different time. It's all about having long, thin legs. That was it. You had long, thin legs, you had the best figure. I didn't have long, thin legs. I had Greek girl legs and a Greek girl ass, and I was obsessed with losing weight and starving myself into doing lots of stupid things like that. So I met Paul, and he was really cross with the way I used to eat because I just didn't eat. Stupidity.
And Paul, when you met him, was already like
he was in good shape, but not the shape he's in now.
But not shape as in like eating and looking after yourself and
he was. So as soon as he decided that I was his woman, he'd like, I've got to sort her out because she's got to live a long time, she's got to look after me for a long time.
That's great. That's good. That's good.
It.
Yeah.
So he was on.
Hey, have some olive oil.
Has it
in his pocket.
Does he?
Yes. You know that people carry their alcohol in one of those hip flasks?
Yeah.
He's got olive oil.
Bad man. That's it. That's wicked. I'm like, I think.
Alcohol.
My I used to do that to me all the time. That is the first great Ella, manam.
Fado.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Paul, when I fell pregnant with Antigone, Paul had read this thing about how women had a lot of Olympian athletes had done better times after they had a baby than before because they'd trained during pregnancy. So Paul's like, right, let's get you training during this pregnancy because it's like weight training for the heart. So I was training while I was pregnant. I was already training before, but I was training quite well while I was pregnant. I actually made my shoulders because I was quite narrow-shouldered before while I was pregnant because you have testosterone in the system, which you don't normally have. And so what was it? It was less than a year later after having Antigone, I competed in my first bodybuilding competition.
And you came?
Less than a year later?
Less than a year later. And I was Miss South East Britain in 1997.
Oh, wow. Did you have a sash?
I had a sash, I had the flowers, I had the whole... I'll send you a pic.
And like even the posing part is a big part.
Oh, the posing part, to get your lats out, you've got to be able to do it properly.
And it's hard though, like to hold in that. Yeah. Because I try to do my pet and I'm like, I've got a stitch.
You got a cramp.
No, literally.
Because there's too many muscles.
Yeah.
When you're training for bodybuilding, you have to do a whole session with a trainer and a choreographer, the posing sessions, and they were exhausting. You literally had to hold, do the biceps, hold, do your thighs, hold. I would come out of those sessions like exhausted.
And you're in heels and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Heels and a thong.
Oh, my God. That's what Peter's Saturday night.
So Antigone, then bodybuilding. Then there was Sophia, and then just life. I was a primary school teacher in Tottenham, and
You've lived like 7 lives in one, hasn't it?
Yeah, I worked hard. That's what I used to do. I was a primary school teacher in Tottenham, and then whilst I was, because I wrote that pregnancy book,
superhero.
Yeah, like a superwoman.
Is that Tonia at the school in Tottenham?
Yeah.
And then you watch them put TV on, and then
and she's cooking.
And then next channel, you're like, you're hungry.
What's going on, guys? This is amazing.
Listen, I'm not a spring chicken. I've lived a life and I've tried to live it to the full. So that's why there's been lots of
living it to the full. Going to be a school teacher in Tottenham.
I
love. I said it before how prim and proper this is, and then sometimes it just comes out. Bro.
Living life to the fullest. Yeah. Was Tottenham school teacher first, right?
So
because you couldn't go bodybuilding.
Oh, so
Oh my God, there's things just coming.
After I did my A-levels, I thought I'd never want to study again. I'm going to go and do some job. And so my dad said, okay, go and find something to do. I wasn't going to be an electrician or a plumber, so I thought, I'll go and be a youth therapist. I did that for 9 months. I qualified and did it for 9 months. I thought, stuff this is too hard. Because I was quite strong anyway. I used to get massage after massage, these women coming up. I do not want to do this for the rest of my life. So that's when I went to university. So I went late to university. I was 21 when I went to university, 22. So I did my degree later, did classical history and philosophy. Then I did postgraduate in education. In primary school teacher.
And that's what okay.
And then, so I worked in primary. Then after I had Antigone, when I was pregnant with Sophia, I was writing the book because I got into the best shape of my life while pregnant with Antigone. And so I wanted to write about it. I wanted other women to know that everyone kept saying pregnancy is the end of it. It's not. It can be the beginning if you do it well and look after yourself and focus on yourself. So then I wrote that book. Then I got invited by Channel Health, and then it just went from there. But the reason there's such a big gap between my 2 girls and my 2 boys is because I kept trying to get this series off the ground, kept trying to get this wonderful series that I knew was going to be great off the ground. And I just couldn't get anyone. And then Paul said, enough, I want a 3rd child. I want to try for a boy. Let's try. If I have a girl, I'll be happy. But I want a 3rd child. Yeah.
Sorry.
And then, of course, as soon as I fell pregnant, I got the commission for My Greek Kitchen. Hence the reason I was filming with a 10-week-old. Who wants to film with a 10-week-old baby?
Man. Jesus.
Honestly, there's one show. I won't say which one because then people start looking for it and it's not good. Where so your boobs are this big when you're breastfeeding.
Yeah, I remember.
Quite literally, they are that big.
It's a great time.
So we were filming.
Fuck you, man. You just said it. You.
So we were filming. We were losing light, so we had to get this last clip in before we lost the light. So as Evid was there, I breastfed him on the one boob, which went completely flat, and then I had to do the next bit. And you can see me walking along, one flat boob, one enormous boob, and I'm talking in this show.
Was you trying to point that way a little bit?
I didn't even notice till I looked at it after. Oh God!
What a pump! What do you mean?
Doesn't always work that way.
Bro, you're gonna grow up one day. Do you know what I mean? Like one day you understand certain things.
So, is there anything else in the pipeline?
So, I was just saying before that ITV have given me a sponsored show, which is amazing. ITV, the biggest, commercial broadcaster in the UK.
Are we allowed to say that?
So and now I'm here. Part of the reason I'm at the diaspora, which is fantastic, as I said, there's these people that have come over from Australia who watched the shows 20 years ago, and they're still there. They're with me.
And I'm sure they ask,
me.
are you going to do anything else?
Exactly. So I'm going to try and get the sponsorship and the finances to do that, to make the sponsorship for ITV.
Hey,
so that would be great.
And what would that be called? Would it be called?
We haven't decided yet what it's going to be called, because My Greek Kitchen belongs to the Discovery Channel. Okay. So
they own that then. So then
they own that.
Wait, David.
Who's David?
Attenborough.
Is that who you're talking? How did I know you was going to say that? What the fuck does he have to do with
He's the Discovery, innit?
No,
that's National Geographic. But
anyway,
you're right, David.
I think it's time for a change of name. So what
about Home with the Buxtons? Because
do you know what? That is the next step. I would very much like to take my family to Netflix and do a show like that. That would be food and travel, and because everyone is insane in my house. You know that.
Oh yeah.
I think Buxton's on its own.
No, but
Home with the Buxtons is good, but Buxton's.
Just Buxton's.
Just
like Kardashians.
Like Kardashians.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Buxton's. Yeah.
The Buxtons.
I'd watch that. I won't watch Love Island, but I've watched that.
I'll just knock on your door. If that starts, I know where you live. When it starts recording, I'm just going to...
Come on in.
Hi, guys. Wearing the Cypriot Smurf top. How are you doing, guys? Are you okay? You're such a dick. You're such a dick.
I was just in the area.
As if we wouldn't come and film with you guys anyway.
You definitely have to get at Home with the Buxtons.
But you know what's going to happen, though? What's really funny is that everybody thinks that Antigone and I would be like the stars of the show, and we wouldn't. The people I think that would be the stars of the show are Paul, because he's batshit nuts. This thing talking, taking his hip flask with good olive oil because he doesn't trust the olive oil anywhere, and the things that he does he's an insane man, but that's why he looks so great. But he is insane. He's the one that introduced me into ice baths and all the kind of crazy stuff that he does.
He's like David Goggins, isn't it?
Without the ugliness.
Without that.
No, but I also think that
he lives though, not like
as understanding, because I've spoke to Paul quite a lot. I think he is like a David Goggins character, but he understands how to like actually look after your body. Where
He
David
actually
Goggins
understands
just
how
like
to.
He just wants to live long.
Yeah.
Paul wants to live a life long, and that's the difference. You've got
Life-
to, you
life
know,
full, like,
full.
yeah.
You know, you gotta have your wine, you gotta have your fun, you gotta do it all. But then
David
you need
Goggins
to
don't
live
have
it.
toenails.
David Goggins' knees are fucked. That's what's wrong with geezers. Anyway.
Paul doesn't have to worry about that.
No.
Stay hard.
Yeah. Oh.
always.
Olive oil. Oh, man.
Hey, God, let's stay here.
Love olive oil.
Oh God!
Yeah, I used to say to me.
Chin is
Yeah. Drink olive oil. The ladies will be good. I was like, okay.
100%. If you start doing this series, like he will have his own like olive oil brand
God,
or
yeah.
like, little
Yeah.
flask and everything like that. That'd be so sick.
And the other one that I think will come out of his shell is Zino, because Zino's got an acerbic tongue. You know,
Sorry, I'm a little bit.
like, you're using
Tonia,
big
you
words.
have to. I know you have a
Hey
degree in
Siri,
shit.
hey Siri, what does?
okay, so he's got a sharp tongue. It's quite sharp. He can be quite. So you know, we've come down before, and
Wonder where
I've
he
said,
gets
you know,
that
I've
from.
got this fashion. I said, Zino, what do you like? Think of my look, and he's going, it's giving me nuclear waste.
Oh, wow.
That is-
What a-
so Zino's got that.
But
so
is
I
that
think,
good?
Well, you know what?
'Cause
It's
nuclear waste is
crazy.
giving me
It's a
nuclear waste.
It's a bad thing.
It's a fucking
bad thing.
Oh,
He's
so like
dissing
he
you
did,
and-
he didn't like
but
it.
like it takes you a moment to realise that he's actually dissing
It would
you.
take him a fucking
I'll be
year. Don't
like,
worry. He would be like, yeah. I'm
going
glowing.
nuclear.
Yeah. I'm glowing. Like, what's going on?
Nuclear waste. Okay. When
How
something's
old,
good.
Wait, how old is it? How old is it?
Zino will be 18 in August.
Wow. And he's already thinking like that.
Yeah, no, he's sharp. He's sharp.
But where does he learn this?
I've no idea.
Oh, I have no idea.
No idea at
No,
all.
okay.
Because you've got the long word tongue as well.
Yeah, well, you know, don't take that. My audience think that I'm the sweetest little Negociera de Cosmo.
No,
you are.
They know you could boomerang a slip around the corner if you had to. Fuck, what was that?
Honestly, because you know, when you're a young mum, I think you're very different to the way you are when an old mum. And Digoni's got this whole thing that I have a favouritism for the boys. I don't. I've just got a little bit older and less, you know. So when they were young, they both had plaits, Antigone and Sophia, long plaited hair, and they used to drive me nuts. I used to grab them by the
That's like
Yeah, do you know what I
Trunchbull.
mean?
You know, like,
Literally, just like
Yeah.
Trunchbull. Because it used to drive me nuts, and I was young and I had stuff to do. You know,
Yeah, of course.
With the boys, I'm much more chilled.
Because they
I'm
don't
less,
have plaits.
Yeah, they don't have plaits.
No, listen, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. Wait a sec. My sister can do no wrong in my dad's eyes, yeah?
Oh, really?
Nothing. Like, nothing. 100%, man. She's like, I was like, I done the same she done. Yes, but she done it different. Like, I was like, okay, cool, yeah, sweet. I get it. I do get it. I understand.
Regarding like the Buxtons,
Yes.
Are you ready like for that? Because that would be like cameras everywhere, anywhere.
No, because it would not. I wouldn't do a reality show.
Oh, it won't. It would just be like.
what I would
okay.
do is a food, travel, history style show.
So is this going to be the ITV one?
No,
Oh, this is a
this is
separate one.
ITV is me, Antigone and Sophia. It's
Yeah,
a mother-daughter's odyssey.
Nice.
That we're doing.
We wanna-
and
we
it's
wanna get
coming
the
back.
Buxtons on
and
Mother's
it's- and
Daughters
it's coming
Peter
back
Odyssey.
to
Sounds very
Cyprus.
good.
Mother's
Yeah.
daughter's Peter Odyssey. You're such a deep troll. Oh, God.
Deve ser da mudrasura.
See? Nya.
Yeah, no, so the ITV one's me, Antigone and Sophia coming back to Cyprus, revisiting all the things that we had and maybe getting little clips from the original My Greek Kitchen, My Cypriot Kitchen and interspersing with them. So that would be
like
that
you
one.
there from before to now.
So that would
Yeah.
be what the
With
ITV
one
one
big
is.
boob.
Yeah, that was you beat me to it. Sorry. No, but that'd be amazing. That'd be really good, and I think it will pop off.
I think so. I think people have a real appetite for it. So yeah,
But you keep doing it. You said
dropping
taste
it.
before
it's the
appetite.
food. It's the foodie things. It's
Are we good for the cups now?
I think
We're
I'm
taking
going
a
to
cup
say.
break.
Should I save this to the end, or do we want to go for it?
I don't know. You do Peter's first, whatever you do. We'll see
We
how
can do
Peter's-
one and one.
By the way, he
Your lips turn.
hates planes. Just to let you know. So.
Okay, hang on.
Maybe she knows enough about
Oh man, now she's got the
There's
glasses
a
on as
lot
well.
of coffee there.
You didn't drink it.
Peter.
Oh,
Peter.
no.
How many weeks?
So can I just say that you've got a camel ride coming up? All right, because there's your Camila. Can you see the Camila?
Yeah.
What is it that you live
That
in?
actually looks like a camel.
Yeah, you're going to go on a camel ride and you're going on a long journey into the desert. But whilst you're in the desert, your member your member is going to grow in a way that's unfathomable.
It's a member.
Is my member my penis?
I
don't know. Who's my member?
You tell me.
I know, but if I think of something...
Look at your...
Sorry.
Just look at that.
That's a
I'm
member.
going to get a button.
That's a member, bruv.
Where?
There's a member.
Definitely ain't my
Maybe
member.
the camel's it's way too big. There's a camel.
But what do you mean? No, seriously, what do you mean by member? You're using Zinon's words.
Member.
Oh, was you talking about that?
Your camel's gonna eat your member, bruv.
Something's going on there with the camel and the member, and then you continue on your
I'm being
journey.
very honest, though. I don't know what member.
Okay,
Oh, we
let's-
just
well,
vlog.
Oh, okay. I was saying it as a joke.
No, member.
look at what I can see.
All right. I wasn't being rude, Antigone. Your mum was.
No, I was saying.
Yeah.
No, she's alright. No.
I'm only reading what the cup's telling me. Okay, and then from what I can see here, you're going on that's an aeroplane I can see there, where you're flying across the world, and once you get to the world, it looks like you've ended up in the camel's arse.
Slang.
I told you to member.
Slang.
We're gonna do it.
Do it.
Don't tell me nothing scary, please.
No, okay, so let's have a look at yours.
I ain't got much coffee.
Not too much coffee. Let's
I
have a
drank it
look.
like a good boy.
You done me in there.
Right, let me have a little look at this.
Oh, it's confusing.
It is quite confusing.
I'm quite a confusing person.
But it's member.
There is one here.
No, there's no. Yeah, it's a smaller member. There's a member. There's a member. There's just members everywhere.
There's members everywhere. You know what I see? I see a mermaid. Can you see the mermaid's tail?
My daughter loves a mermaid.
So there you are. That's your daughter and her mermaid. Also, is that a pregnant woman I can see there?
Don't, Tonia, please don't. No, there's no Italy.
There's Italy down there. There's the boot of Italy. So I think you're going to have to take your wife to Italy, where you're going. She's going to get pregnant.
Tonia, don't say that to me, man. Please don't say that.
You're going to have a boy because there is the
Member.
There you go. Oh, you're suerte, there you go. Bang, done.
You're gonna have a boy.
Do you know
There you go.
how I know she's so Cypriot, yeah? The first thing she said to me when I showed the kid, when's the next one coming? That was the first thing she went, oh, they're beautiful. When's the next one coming?
You do know you're gonna get a call one day and you're like,
you're gonna have to christen the third one.
It's gonna be a boy, so be thinking boys' names.
God,
let's get that done.
man,
Listen. You know what? It's not that I've got. I want more boys and more girls or whatever, but I do think it's really nice to have a mixed sex family if you can have it. So if I'd had two boys, I would have been desperate for girls. So because I had two girls, I was desperate for boys.
But then if I have a boy, I have to go Britain's Got Talent again.
Yeah,
Stavros,
you're gonna have to do it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why you have to do it. That's it.
I'll have to call him Stavros. 100%. Little Stavros running around.
Stavri.
Oh, don't, man. All right, let's not. Okay, that cup's wrong. No, that's not.
So, you're a strong advocate of wellness and natural living.
Yeah.
What are your daily rituals that you swear by? Because I see, we watch Instagram and everything, and you do the ice baths, and I have come to your house and I have done the ice bath. I've done it once. I wouldn't do it every morning that she does it.
I don't do it every morning. I do it about 3 times a week. So, there's certain things that I feel responsible for. So I had my daughters when I was quite young, and I had my sons when I was a little bit older. And so I felt responsible. This is where it kind of came from, that I needed to be the same mother to both sets of children. So I have to look after myself. And it's not just about me. It's about being there for them. So that's one of the reasons I look after myself. So I have ice baths 3 times a week. I try and do a couple of saunas a week. I'm trying to do a bit more. I always exercise. I've never not exercised. I eat too much and I drink too much wine, but that's what makes me happy.
Yeah.
So I do that.
Listen.
You do know what I mean? It's like, so at the moment, Eva kilo, right? Okay, Eva no, it's 10 pounds. What's that's 5 kilos.
Yeah.
So I at some
dyslexic.
stage, I'm going to try and get down again. But if I don't, you know what? I'm having fun, enjoying life. I'm never going to look like my husband Paul with his 6-pack. He's built like that.
Got a fucking 8-pack. Just carries on.
The main thing is just do a little something that's good for you each day.
If it's not your body, your mind as well.
Definitely
Because when you're in the
your
ice
mind.
baths, the only thing you have to think about is, I'm in an ice bath.
Yeah, no, actually, I chat away on Instagram when I'm in the ice bath. It's quite nice to have little chats. What are you
I
doing
see you.
today?
You
What are
chat
doing
away.
today?
You chat away.
When I went to Tonia's house, I think it was 0 degrees.
Yeah, it's always 0.
When I
Zero?
got,
Yeah.
When I
Zero?
Crack the ice to
Not
get in
even
it.
like 1 or 2.
No, 0, yeah.
I got out.
God.
I didn't know if I was
You
hot,
must
cold.
have been red.
I was red.
He goes red whether it's hot or cold.
Yeah,
He's just
I didn't know
I
if I
sit
was.
there for 5 minutes. I come out completely
5
red.
minutes.
Yes.
Holy
I didn't know if I was
shit.
hot, cold, wet, or dry.
Bro, 5 minutes is more than like athletes. They
No,
do
I didn't
3
do.
minutes.
I didn't do 5 minutes. I think I done.
You
2 or
probably done a
3.
toe, 30 seconds, bro. I know what you're
Bro.
on. Don't lie.
I done good.
Yeah, okay.
He did well.
Yeah?
He did well, yeah.
It's only because
And
he
then we
didn't want
had
to show
souvlaki.
face. No, he
Yeah,
didn't
and then we
want
had
to.
souvlaki
Then we
in
had souvlaki.
Perth.
That's a good way to do
Yeah,
it, man. Like, treat yourself.
Sauna, ice bath, souvlaki. What more
Don't
do
you
you
see?
want?
Don't you think like I've started after
Finally.
Lent? No, not far. I've done it my whole life, in and out. Yeah, but like Easter come, I done Lent. I was fasting, and during that time, I was like, right, let me fix some things in my life. Because we had the babies, and I was making excuses. The babies and this running. So I was like, no, let me do it now. So I started doing it. Now, you can go one of 2 ways. I think with these things, you can go mental with it and ruin.
It's not sustainable.
And not be happy.
And not be happy.
And get angry and this.
Yeah.
Or you can do it so, like you said, how you do it. You're still happy and you still enjoy things, but you just know, if I eat this, I definitely have to go gym for an hour. Like,
or pay it forward. What I find is easier to do. Well, not easier to do, but it's better to do, but it's harder. Is that I know on Saturday and Sunday I'm going out. So Monday to Friday, I'm home. So I'm in control. I will have low fat, like good protein, high protein, good food, but no alcohol. So I'm paying it forward. So I've had a good week. So, when I do have a drink and a dessert or whatever at the weekend, I paid for it.
balance.
But it's
I
also.
haven't done enough paying for it lately, but I'm birazzi.
But it's also more of a treat as well, because if you start doing it every day, you got problems.
Yeah. Now,
but
treat
at the
no
same
more.
time, because you've been working out and looking after yourself all your life, like even if I go up, like have 3-4 days, I know I can burn it off. If I want to, mentally, like whatever, psychologically and physically, I can burn it off.
It can be. It does change a little bit as you get older as a lady.
Yeah,
to
it
be
gets
honest, there are
harder,
things that change in that. But what you said about having things every day, abstinence definitely makes things better.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go back to when Paul and I, when we just before we had Andigoni, we did a ski season in Val d'Isère. And I was the cook there. I ran a gourmet chalet and I had 13 guests that I cooked for every single night. And that was great. But our night off, we used to go to the pizzeria and we used to get a tomatoey, garlicky pizza. And we used to have these kind of garlicky mussels before and some chips and a carafe of like home wine. Nothing tasted as good as that meal ever. It was the one meal a week I didn't cook. I could go and I relaxed and whatever. It tasted amazing.
Sounds
Same
great.
with chocolate cake. If you don't have chocolate cake all week,
Can you stop? Like, this isn't helping the abstinence. You're making, I'm going to go straight and get some pizza and some cake. You know what I mean? And drown it with a bowl of wine.
it's true. If you have a piece of chocolate cake every day, it becomes it becomes a habit. It becomes an addiction, which is no good. But if you say to yourself, right, I'm going to do this all week, and then at the end of the week, I'm going to have this piece of chocolate cake. It tastes amazing.
Yeah, 100%.
So you've got to play these mind games with
No, I'm
yourself.
fully. That's exactly where I'm at this point now.
In my head, I'm so slowing down that part and putting it as a real, like, and then when I drizzle.
You know, like, when,
it's like,
Nigella,
like, this is going to make you hungry.
Yeah, man. And your voice is so much better than Nigella Lawson's. I can listen to that so much more.
If you could cook any meal for anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
Can I have 2 people?
One dead, one alive.
Can I have 2 dead?
2 dead.
All right, 2 dead, 2 alive. We can't
Two dead,
discriminate.
Two dead, 2 alive. So the first dead would be Elvis.
Wow.
You want to cook for Elvis?
Yeah.
That'd be easy though. That's just peanut butter and banana.
Fried
Really
chicken.
easy. I do him
Fried
something.
peanut
What would
butter.
you cook? What would you cook him?
I think I would probably get some pork and slow cook
I
it
was
with
just
honey
about to
and
say
maple
pork
in
and
the
all, yeah.
oven and make it kind of like that kind of soft pulled pork slider kind of thing. You know,
Peter's like, this is his porn. This is Peter's like this.
And the side of what?
cheese and a chili jam, that sweet savoury mix,
Oh,
and that's what
Or
I think
chili
I do.
jam. I think he would like
Mate, that might
Yeah.
bring him back from the dead.
Yeah,
You
you know what I'm
talking
saying?
like that.
So my second dead person would be I'd really like to cook for Jesus. Because I'd really like to hear some of the stories that he has to say. Because I think
Caught
he
me
was...
off guard a bit.
Yeah. Try
you
to talk about that one, bro.
Listen, I'm not actually a religious person, but I think that if you look at the New Testament, he was a good guy. He said good things. He said treat others like you want yourself to be treated, and that's how I live my life. Don't you dare!
Yeah, don't, because I told you. Yeah, hit him for that one.
You just be like, here's your bread, here's your wine, see you later.
Anyway, that's my two dead people.
One sec, let me just reassemble this because you're gonna kill us.
Yeah.
I'll pray for you later. Don't worry.
Could you imagine if you cook for Jesus? He'd be like, "Can my friends come?"
He's such
that.
So we got the king of rock and roll and the king of the Christians. So
they're my two dead people. It's hard to think of someone. I mean,
it's hard.
Oh no.
Oh.
No. I'm not going to lose my. Listen, I might have to double up with Antigone because I'd really quite like to cook for Anna Vichy, and I'd go.
We can make this happen.
Do you know how I see it? Because when I have dinner parties and people come round, I'm quite forceful. If they can sing, that they have to sing for their supper. I've cooked for you. I've entertained you. I want you to sing for me now, and I love it when people come and sing for me.
No,
please don't get the bouzouki.
Thank you so much, Tonia. Jesus, man.
Anyway, so that would be quite nice.
That's good
because it's not just me cooking for her. It's her sitting around my table with my daughter singing. That would make me really.
That needs to be part of the ITV show.
Yeah.
This is Netflix. This needs to be in the Netflix, bro.
One. Yeah.
Right. So
you've got the up and coming ITV series.
Yep. Let's get the sponsor for this. Let's get this done, and then from there, let's go Netflix. Ted Sarandos, who is the CEO of Netflix, he's a Greek guy. So
Ted Sarandos, we're in.
Do you know what I will say on the subject? Come on, Ted.
Yeah.
But I will say on the subject, like, you got the Kardashians, and it's all drama. And you got all these other people, and it's drama, and all this other drama. Where if you had your series, it would be very motivating, encouraging, inspiring.
Unfortunately, we live in a time where people are assholes. Yeah.
No, but hang on. Can I just say, I don't think it always needs to be seedy drama or like she flirted with my boyfriend. She did this. If you listen to us discuss where we're going to go for dinner, you think World War III has broken out. You have no understanding of how heated it gets because we're all nuts on things, or what we're going to do as a family the next day. I mean, it becomes insane. It is fun. Everyone's got their own little character to do it in. So you can have a show that is food, culture, and family without it being backstabbing and still being really entertaining and interesting.
100%.
Just Antigone and Sophia are arguing about how much salt should go in the salad. It has all changed since I started because, like I said, I started 20 years ago, and I've had to learn social media. I've had to learn to get onto Instagram and promote myself that way because I get quite a lot of work that way. And I'm talking at some festivals when I go back to London. I've got 2 this year. I've had 4 years before, and I really like doing that.
Like food festivals?
No, actually, some I've spoken about food. I've done cookery demonstrations, but actually, the next few I'm doing is about longevity, pro-aging, cool. How just how to live a fulfilled, happy life. Really, that's kind of the thing. And so I've had to learn about social media. So it's a bit all changed for me. But what I will say is that I had no meso. Like I said, I was a primary school teacher in Tottenham, a Greek girl. I knew no one. I knew nothing. But in my heart, I really wanted to do it. And so I just persevered and I just kept going. And it is hard work. As people say, oh, you were lucky. And you think, yeah, it's funny. The harder I work, the luckier I get.
Yeah, it's mad,
literally that thing where, you work hard and also one of the things I've learned in older life, like post 40.
You're post 40? I believe it from him, but I
don't know. Shocked face.
That your mind and the thoughts that you have in your mind have a lot to do with what happens in your life. So keep your thoughts. Never mind about what comes out of your mouth. Keep your thoughts good. Control your thoughts. Give them some discipline if they're going off. Keep your thoughts good. And just only think about positive things and go forward in a good way. At least shit happens, bad things happen to everyone. Deal with it there and then move it on. Just try to be the best version of yourself. And in doing that, things will come. That's what I would say. It took me a while to learn that.
That was brilliant.
And I think that was the best one we've had so
far. I needed to hear that right now as well. So 100%. Thank you for that.
That's great.
I do want to, it would be nice to end on that note, but I do want to ask one thing.
Go on.
Also, it's not even going to be a joke.
Really?
No, it's not. In what you're doing and what I've seen as well, it's very important to stand your ground in what you think is right and what like, how hard has that been for you? Because obviously we're not going to bring up all the years that we were locked down and all this, but from there, you've really been holding your ground and sticking to your word and what is right, what is wrong, and not backing down, which I do respect a lot. And it takes a lot of courage.
It's the same thing as what we said, it's in your heart. When you know something's right and you know you're being true to yourself, because, a lot of people have an incredible capacity to bullshit themselves. And that, I think, is a character flaw. I don't have that capacity. The problem is that when I was younger, I had a bit of a sharp tongue. And I'd say something and think, well, they deserved it. They deserved it. But, the next morning I'd wake up and I think, that wasn't nice. And my conscience would strangle me till I have to go and put my tail between my legs and go and apologise. I can't bullshit myself. When I've done wrong, I have to own up to it. So I'm very good now at seeing truth and being true to myself. And so when you know that you're being true to yourself, it's easier. It's easier. And then there will be sacrifices that you have to make, because truth and honesty and the right road has sacrifices to it. But those sacrifices are always worth it because you're going the right way.
And sometimes it's people that, like you, that do that there's other people that are too scared to until that one person has spoken out.
It's nice to give courage to people.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got to say one more thing, because I listened to you when you were talking about with Andigone about haters on Instagram and social media. And I find it hilarious. And I always repost something, I tend to repost them because they're so funny. But I cannot handle it when they're mean to Andigone. It's like I want to find out where they live and kill them in their beds.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. That's the angry Greek mummy coming in.
It's really hard, actually, when you get negativity. Initially, it used to pierce, and then now I just look at it and think, you idiot, why would you say that? Don't say that.
When it's about your daughter.
But when it's about my children, my daughter.
Kick my kid in a sandpark when I only beat that motherfucker up.
I'm similar. The way Andigone thinks is like, I would see something, if I don't like something, I didn't like it, it wasn't funny, it wasn't good, I would just say that to myself.
Yeah.
But to actually comment, to actually write a comment and spend your time and write a comment and press send, it's like...
But it actually burns their soul. Do you know that, don't you? It burns their soul.
Yeah. But it gets more views as well. So
it's true. Actually, that's true. That's actually true.
It does up the algorithm a little bit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Our best viewed video, people call me a dickhead.
This is another thing about social media that really pisses me off lately. There's videos like, don't come to Cyprus, and then you watch it because it's amazing. You're like, you tricked me. I just want to say thank you guys for coming on. Obviously, you're busy today. You've got the Cyprus diaspora to go back to.
Yeah, next up, Netflix.
That's it. Let's put it out there.
You watch. It's going to be like Johnny Depp playing Peter Kypri.
You're a dickhead. No, it'd be like no.
Don't say it, Malaka now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Antigone,